right into mayoral proclamations and then acknowledgements and recognitions. All right, we got another princess. So many crowns in the city this year. Thank you, Miss Betty. Appreciate you. So our first proclamation is the Shen Yun Day. And so I'll read as follows. Issued in the state of Texas, in the county of Hidalgo, and in the city of Palmview, and whereas for the past 2 decades, Shen Yun Performing Arts, a premier dance and music company, has captivated audiences across the globe with breathtaking performances that beautifully display the essence of 5,000 years of divinely inspired Chinese culture. And whereas Shen Yun is a U.S. company that benefits our communities and the United States by introducing the richness of traditional Chinese culture and dance with beauty and grace. Whereas Shen Yun performances inspire, educate, uplift, and touch the audience members from all walks of life and highlights the universal values of Shen Yun and embraces the honor, loyalty, kindness, tolerance, and filial piety that resonate deeply in our current culture and world. And whereas Shen Yun has graced the stages of Texas, cities, and communities, including the greater areas of Houston, Dallas, Fort Worth, Austin, San Antonio, El Paso, Amarillo, Lubbock, Midland, Longview, Beaumont, College Station, Corpus Christi, and McAllen, to also include Palmview. They don't perform here though, but go ahead and mention them here. Now therefore, I, Ricardo Villarreal, Mayor of the City of Palmview, and on behalf of myself and the City Council, do hereby proclaim September 15th, 2025, as the Shen Yun Day. All right, and which obviously coincides one day before the Mexican independence as well, which our culture here is very touted for. So proclaimed on this 15th day, September 15th again, excuse my stutter, 2025, proclaim the Shen Yun Day today. Thank you. So we have a representative? Okay. All right. And our next proclamation, given to in the state of Texas and in the county of Hidalgo and in the city of Palmview. And whereas suicide is a major public health issue that requires vigilant attention, and whereas each death by suicide directly impacts numerous family members, friends, loved ones, and by extension, the entire community. And whereas the National Alliance of Mental Illness, National Alliance for Mental Illness, NAMI, and other organizations are actively involved in promoting awareness and supporting individuals. And whereas no single suicide prevention effort will be sufficient or appropriate for all populations or communities, hence everyone is asked to join together and take a stand to help those who are contemplating suicide. And whereas September is recognized as across the United States as Suicide Prevention Month and provides the opportunity to educate oneself about the warning signs and how best to help those in need. Now therefore, I, Ricardo Villarreal, Mayor of the City of Palmview, and on behalf of our commission, do hereby proclaim the month of September 2025 on this date, September 15th, as National Suicide Prevention Month. Thank you. So, do we have a rep? Okay, good, beautiful. All right. You may take the stand over here, ma'am, and check the mic.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Jasmine Celeste Arriaga, and I am the Princess of Palm Oasis. September is Suicidal Prevention Month. On average, there are 130 suicides per month. Be the one to ask for help, or call or text 988, or text the word TALK, 741-741. It's okay not to be okay.
Awesome. Thank you. Benito. Thank you so very much, ma'am. Do we want to go ahead and take a picture with our beauty queens and Miss Betty as well? We'll go ahead and take the time to get one more item. We have one more item. Yeah. Do we do the item then? Okay. All right. Okay, I get it. Recognition of Emerald Princess Palmview.
Yes,
And so-
good afternoon,
have the floor.
or good evening. I'm here, Veronica Perez, the director for the City of Palmview Royal Court, and I'm here to introduce to you Ms. Penelope Grace Salinas. I introduced her probably like a couple of weeks ago as our Emerald Princess of Palmview. However, we're excited to now introduce her as, it's sad because we do lose her, but she's still representing the City of Palmview, and she will be the 2026 Texas Citrus Fiesta Princess of Lemon Blossom, as she will represent our city in the TCF Tangerine Court.
All right.
Hi, my name is Penelope Grace Salinas. I'm the Princess of Liberty and Palmview of Emerald, and my title is Lemon Blossom.
Good job.
All right.
Good job.
Do we want to introduce the other?
Thank you. You want me to introduce?
Sure.
I know, she didn't introduce, right?
That's
We
fine.
have Jaslyn Arriaga. She is our Princess of Palm Oasis. And then sorry, I'm still learning their titles.
Don't worry, I was nervous
Oh,
up,
yes,
I
I
was
knew
nervous
that
up
one.
here too. I started twice while I was reading. You didn't missing nothing.
And then, of course, we have Ms. Ricaela. No, your last name. Hinojosa, Ricaela Hinojosa, and she is the Princess of Sunset Palms.
All right, great. So if you may, ladies, will get up here by the start, and then we're gonna take a picture with you all, okay? And we're gonna face that way, face east. At Tabasco and Camarena Elementary, we have a former, La Gruya. All right, so. On to our next item, 7.2, under acknowledgements and recognition, recognition of newly appointed sergeant. Chief, you have the floor, sir. Go ahead.
Good evening. As you all may know, or you do know, we had Sergeant Ruben Peña depart from our department some time back, and we had the vacant position open for sergeant, and I wanted to just formally announce the promotion to Officer Zach Hinojosa. If you can come up, please, so we can do the pinning of his sergeant badge. Come on up, stand. Zach's been with us for a couple of years, and he's excelled in every aspect of his law enforcement career. And he was selected as to be our next patrol sergeant, and we are more than confident that he will do great things and be a good leader for the patrol division. So, Zach, thank you, and congratulations on your promotion. If you want to call up, so they can pin your sergeant badge.
we're just gonna hold off a little bit and see if we can hurry these people to get here. you. So at 5:55, I'm going to call this meeting to order on this beautiful September 15th, 2025. The next item, roll call and establishment of quorum.
Benito Hernandez present.
Alexandra Flores present.
Mayor Rick Villarreal present. If I may have a motion to excuse Mr. Ramirez and Mr. Peña as well.
I motion to excuse Mr. Ramirez and Mr. Peña.
Second.
I got a motion, a second. Questions? All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Motion carries. Thank you. Invocation and pledge. I'll go ahead and lead us in prayer. Dear Lord Heavenly Father, we come before you, give you praise, honor, glory. Thank you, dear Lord, for everything you've done in our lives and everything you will continue to. Psalm 23 says that you will be with us and you will guide us to clear waters and green pastures, Lord. I pray for our communities. I pray for our state. Pray for our country and all the needy members in this world that need more of you. For all these things, I ask in your precious and heavenly name, amen. To the flag, I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You may be seated. So previously, we went into proclamations. Excuse me, let me jump back. And so we're gonna go back before I proceed with the meeting. All right, so item 6 is we're done, and item 7 we're done. So back to item 5,
Item 4, Mr.
certified posting of agenda.
Yes, so Mr. Mayor and council members, the agenda was duly posted as required by state law, 3 business days prior to the meeting date.
Thank you, Annette. Excuse me. And item 5,
There are 2 individuals that signed up for public comment. You have those before you.
so any particular order? Are we okay? You- All right, so we'll go ahead and admit Dr. Marcy Sorensen from La Jolla ISD to come on up and give a strategic plan for the district for the next few years. You have the floor, Dr. Sorensen. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We're going to start with the video, or are we? Fantastic. Thank you.
And we voted together with our family, teachers, and community. We spent the last year dreaming big about what our school and our future could look like.
With gratitude and excitement, I'm proud to share La Jolla ISD's new 5-year strategic plan, our roadmap for the next chapter in our 100-year history. This plan is more than a document. It's a promise. It was built with you and for you. Over the past year, more than 5,500 students, families, staff, and community members shared their voices through town halls and focus groups, advisory councils, surveys, and community events. You told us what matters most to you. You want strong teachers, excellent leaders, safe, welcoming schools, more opportunities to explore careers and real-world skills, families who feel connected every step of the way. This plan reflects your hopes, your ideas, and your priorities for our district. And now, we're ready to bring it to life together. Our goal is clear. By 2029, more students will attend A and B campuses across the district. We'll get there by focusing on 5 core priorities: excellence in leadership, strong principals, and strong leaders at every school, empowered graduates, rigorous academics, and real-world opportunities, thriving students, safe, supportive, and joyful learning environments for all students, community trust, unity, and partnership, strong connections with our families and with our community, operational excellence and financial stability, every dollar and every system aligned to student success.
This means more opportunities and more ways to succeed.
It feels good to know that there's so much ahead for us.
La Jolla ISD is moving forward, and we're ready.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So, good evening, Mayor Villarreal, members of the City Council, and distinguished guests. Thank you so much for welcoming us today. We're humbled to stand before you. I also am grateful to have my board president, Julian Alvarez, Vice President Anita Chavez, and Dr. Rosalba Hernandez here with me from our board. So on behalf of La Jolla ISD, we're honored to join you to share our district's new strategic plan, Achieving Excellence Together 2030. This plan was built with the voices of our community, including parents, students, staff, and leaders like you, and it represents our shared vision for the future of education in La Jolla ISD. We sat here together in this very room about 6 months ago, 8 months ago, and we gathered input from the City of Palmview on what you wanted to see happen in our district and in our community and for our students. And I thank you for your shared partnership and your support to the development of this plan, as we are partners in this work together as we support our community and our students and our families and our educators together. So today we'll highlight key priorities and initiatives that will guide our work over the next 5 years with a focus, a North Star goal, that we wake up every single day making sure that we are aligned to make sure that our kids are successful and prepared for college, career, and life through our 5 priorities. Every single day, every classroom, every child, every campus, every day. That's our goal, making sure that all of our children are attending A and B campuses. So we are excited to strengthen the partnership with our cities and with our communities across this wonderful, wonderful district. And so we thank you again. We are excited to share the plan with you. You have press packets, and continue to work side by side, shoulder to shoulder, in support of our families, our students, our 30. Thank you.
Thank you so
Very
much.
much, and we are here for us to support you or the school. We are here. Okay. Thank you very much. Anything you need, we are here.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Yes, I also want to add to that. We're very grateful that we are a part of this plan, because it does take more than just the district. It takes the whole community to support the students in their growth, right, in their exposure to life after high school, after school. So this partnership is vital, and I'm glad that this is the direction that you all are going. And also for all of the work that's been done this past year. I mean, I can testify as a parent and an employee of the district in participating in some of these surveys. And it's just a testament of your dedication of getting our feedback, giving a voice to the staff, to the families. And I think it's amazing. It's been a long time coming, so thank you so much for all your work.
Thank you very much, and I really appreciate the recognition, not only as a community member, not only as an employee, but as a parent. That voice is incredibly valuable to me personally as a superintendent, but also to the community, that you represent that voice as well. And so I'm very grateful.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you again for all your work, the board, president, everybody that showed up today. We really appreciate your time. Thank you for coming out.
Means a lot. I know I speak as a parent. My daughter's a senior as well, and I want to thank you all for all the grace that you bestowed on our district. You know, aside from, I was a 26-year employee of the district. I also worked in Mission, and believe me, there's just from Mission, which is right across from Inspiration, to La Jolla, there's a big, there's a big discrepancy, and I lived it, I worked it, so I know. And I know Mr. Alvarez was a official, and I was in Mission at the JV and varsity back in the day. So he's been committed not only in education, as in educating kids, but on the sports side as well. Mr. Hernandez has not only kids but grandkids as well, right? So he's well-rounded, and former
I was there this morning over there. Escandón? No, not Escandón. the one on the Prima line.
Benson?
Benson, yes.
Sí.
That's
At the Grandparents' Day.
Yeah.
The Grandparents'
Yes,
Day,
absolutely.
yes.
I was there in
His
Benson.
grandbabies are at
Full support.
Benson.
Yeah, full support. I see the words empowering every student. I see the word educate, engage, and those are powerful. I just right now listening to listening to this, what was the words that were said, and your words as well. I always preach with the letter P, to have passion for what we do and have patience and be positive with the kids and the parents and the community. And ultimately, you keep these in your heart and keep them focused in your mind, you will prevail. And here in our community, in our city, as elected officials, and I know that our employees feel the same way, whatever and however we can help to keep the progress going. We are 110%
Thank you.
committed to our
Thank
community.
you so much.
Yeah.
And for us, I just want to say, we hold ourselves 100% accountable. And so as you'll see in the plan, we not only have initiatives laid out, but we also have outcomes and goals. And so we'll come back and we'll report out on how we're doing on our goals. It's our responsibility not only to just lay out an ambitious plan, but to hold ourselves publicly accountable to the very communities that we serve, to say, here's where we are in achieving our goals, here's maybe where some of our barriers are, but we are passionate about delivering on the promise for our students and our families and our communities that we serve. And so I thank you very much, and I look forward to continuing the conversation.
Definitely.
Thank you.
Thank
Awesome,
you all.
thank you.
Thank you.
If
Thank you all
y'all
so much.
would y'all be okay? We take a picture.
Absolutely.
Blanca's excellent over there, zooming in and zooming out.
Thank you, guys.
Good night, y'all be safe. So Mike, if we can post the goals, right, the strategic plan, laminate it and put it up on maybe our library or here on our city. All right, thank you. All right, so under public comments, we have one more. Mr. Michael Leo, City Manager. The topic, you have 3 minutes, sir.
Okay, I'll make it quick, sir. Michael Leo, City Manager for the City of Palmview. Just would like to take the opportunity to introduce our new Human Resources Director, our HR Director. We hired him recently, formerly from the City of Alamo. Lots of background with HR at the HR Director level, as well as his education and his certifications. Well-rounded, well-qualified. We're proud to have him here, Mr. Art Aguirre. Joined our team last Monday, hit the ground running, did not miss a beat, and I got to say he literally dove right into it, like at a crunch time, so to speak. We were in budget mode. You could tell already his qualifications. Now we're seeing him in action. We've had the opportunity to see him. We had situations where we needed issues with TML or workman's comp and things of that nature, the things that he's familiar with. So it was good to see his experience put to work here. So with that, I want to turn it over to him real quick to say a few words.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And Mayor, Commissioners, City Management Group, everyone here present, I want to thank the opportunity to be here. It was so fast, but I'm glad I'm here. We're going to continue building on the foundation my predecessor left behind. Mr. Jerry, obviously, is well known around here, and we're going to continue building on that. I want to thank personally myself again to Mr. Leo for bringing me on board, Ms. Garza, the directors, which have been very welcome, Mayor, which I met you a couple of days ago, and everyone that I met, I'm going to be meeting along the way. Again, Mr. Leo, it's right. I took him in crunch time, and we just continue moving forward. That's what we do. I'm a big believer in team, and again, someone's loss is somebody's gain, and I'm very, very happy to be here. Again, thank you for giving me the confidence to be here, and again, this is just part of the things that you'll be seeing from me moving forward. Thank you, Mr. Leo, Ms. Garza, Mayors, Commissioners, and again, I do come from the City of Alamo. My experience, I'm going to be speaking for itself as we move along. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
No problem.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, so now, so we kind of let the committee do their thing. That's basically it, and in hopes, and wishing that our city continues to progress. So congratulations and welcome. And every now and then you'll hear from us, once in a while. But go get after it. Good luck. Yes, sir.
Can I say just a few welcome words? Sir, just thank you so much for taking the time to apply and take an interest in our city and our community. It is very much needed in our city hall, right, with our staff. And welcome. Thank you so much for applying.
Thank you so much.
We really appreciate it.
Add a little bit, Ms. Alex. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Again, everybody's been very welcome.
Awesome. It's good to hear.
I'm impressed. I really am.
Okay, great. Awesome. Good to hear. Thank you so much.
All right, anybody, Mr. Hernandez?
Yeah, I want to say thank you for accepting this job. I know we need you. We need you. I know you got a lot of experience from Alamo, and the person we need here. Okay.
It's a good connect.
And we are here if you need. Okay.
Yeah, I'm 100% committed. I want to take this job. I just go more than people.
I know you got experience. Thank you.
Great. Thank you.
No, and it's a good thing to connect with other cities, también,
Yeah.
and it's a good thing.
You bring in ideas from over there and
Bring
bring
'em.
new ideas, and it's a lot.
Yeah, we'll continue building on what we have in the right direction.
Yes,
Thank you,
sir.
sir, for accepting
Thank
the
you.
job.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Item 8, a public hearing. I'll go ahead and, I won't take a motion in a second. I'll just go right into public hearing at 6:13, and we'll go ahead and open the public hearing. And for the record, we have 2 items, public hearing on City of Palm View municipal budget, fiscal year 25-26. Can we do both, Mike?
Yes, I think so.
And then public hearing on proposed tax rate for 2025 tax year.
Mayor, council members, Michael Leo, City Manager, here to present the proposed budget book. This is a proposed budget based on the 4 workshops that we had aside from our workshop on capital projects, which kind of kicked it off over the last few months. It's a culmination of all the work that we've done with hearing from yourselves, with the department heads as well, and of course being very cost conscious of our budget. We're being fiscally conservative, trying to be fiscally responsible. We asked all the departments to, right off the bat, to reduce their operational budgets by 5%, some as much as 10%. So I'm going to go through this just to highlight some of the key points from the budget, and I'll reference page numbers in your booklet, in your handout. Starting with page 5. Page 5 is the transmittal letter. It's addressed to the mayor, but it says some highlights here, major changes and highlights. Again, we remain committed to actively pursuing external funding opportunities. Grants being the biggest one. When we can leverage local dollars to get more dollars in return, it alleviates a burden on the taxpayer. We just got the notice for $2 million for East Tierra Linda, another $550,000 for West Tierra Linda, $875,000 to pave East Goodwin, $136,000 used for the planning.
Hold on, can you go back? When did we get those?
We just got those in the last 2 weeks,
So that's
basically.
close to, what, $1 million, if not?
Oh.
Over $1 million?
Tierra Linda alone was $2.6 million that we got in the last 2 weeks. It's
Sorry,
just happened.
so I missed it by $1 million, I mean.
Well, no,
okay.
the other 875,000
There
is
you go.
East Goodwin. Remember the 2-mile line to 3 mile line that we're going to be paving?
And real briefly, can you give us I know you guys are doing a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff to get this with leftover money, so just so that we can.
Yep. About 6 months ago, it was, we know we have the other grants for the GLO drainage for Showers Road and for Moorfield. And so there were certain cities that either weren't able to utilize the funds on time or they opted not to use them for whatever reason. So there was a pot of leftover funds. So the state, like in late December, said, look, if you want some, you need to move very quickly. We had to attend a webinar, participated in that, and then I had to reach out to Rudy. We need to move fast. Then we worked with third parties also. The engineers got on board to give us some preliminary estimates. And what really helped is that we've done in the past, we've looked at we've assessed some of the areas. We know where the problematic areas. So Tierra Linda already had a preliminary engineering concept. We had a plan already. It was good to just take that so quickly, turn around, and submit our application.
For the record, 616, Peña's here.
Yep. So then we were able to turn around quickly for the East Goodwin paving from 495 all the way to 3 Mile Line in our jurisdiction. So that will be paved as well. So we were able to move quickly. To our credit, to council's credit, we did some procurement. We got engineers through an RFP process where it was opened up publicly. We reviewed the qualifications.
Wait, so we're getting funding for pavement on East Goodwin from 495 to 3 Mile Line?
Correct.
When is
I'm
this?
sorry, 2 Mile Line, 2 Mile Line.
2 Mile Line. When is this happening?
This just happened like literally in the last week. Oh, we barely got the award notice.
Oh, okay.
When is it actually going to happen?
That's what you all proposed to them and it got accepted, we got
Correct.
awarded.
We just got the contract. Mayor just signed it this morning, as a matter of fact. I mean, this has really just happened. We've been waiting for the notice. And again, 2.5 million for Tierra Linda. Tierra Linda for drainage improvements. They have swells all around. They don't have real drainage. They have swells all around. And with time, those swells have gotten covered up, either through time or people have made improvements on them, or the sewer project. When the sewer project was done, a lot of that dirt kind of covered those swells, so sometimes the water doesn't flow it's supposed to, and it all goes south. And when it gets to the very end of the south part of the subdivision, it kind of sits there and collects, and there's nowhere for it to outflow to. So what this project will do, we'll put pipes in the ground, literally allow it to go further into the drainage ditch that belongs to the drainage district, and we got to work in conjunction with the irrigation district. So, but again, this is 2.6 million that we're getting in grant funds. Our share is 10%, so we put up 200,000. In return, we get 2.6 million, which is a very good use of leveraging local dollars instead of having to put the 2.6 million on the burden of the taxpayer. So,
and what would be we still need to go through like a bidding process and to see who's going to do the work, or how does that work?
for the contractor, correct. All we have right now is a grant administrator, which will be GrantWorks, and then an engineer, the engineer that was selected. So they're going to put the plans together. We're going to have to bid it out and get a contractor. And now it could be that there might be some environmental assessment happen, like what we had to do for Tramitas, and so those things will take time. But eventually, we want to put it out for bids,
That's
basically.
aside from the 1.6 that we got for, what was it, Moorfield?
For Moorfield,
And the drainage,
Yeah.
and
And
over here, Riverside.
Riverside subdivision off of Showers Road, Tulipan, all the streets.
Yeah,
That's on top.
I'd like to, and I'm sure you guys are doing it, but keep what year, what month, and where what you guys have done, what you guys have been, I know you and, who was helping you, Rudy? You all took
Rudy,
initiative on
Cesar.
this several months ago. I remember we were here in a meeting, and you said there's millions of dollars, can we? Well, of course, and look, here we are, 4 or 5 months later, saying, hey, we got the money, so.
This is huge.
This is great news.
It is good news.
Excited. I
Sometimes
was not
things,
expecting this
it's, but keep us posted on the timelines, and then, on I guess Irma's good at doing your monthly reports, but some kind of where, like in 2024, we applied for this, 2023, we applied for that, we received the 23 and 25, and, and this much money for these streets, so that for our posterity, some year late, 10 years, 15 years, somebody says, well, how did this get done? Well, it was done 10 years ago, it was done like this, and this is what we did.
And it's important to put it out there that when it's grant funded, it is a longer process. Like that is really something that's out of our control. When it's, what is it, the CO funds or the local funds, non-federal, then it's a lot faster. So some projects are quicker than others. It's important to point out this is grant funded, so the timeline will be longer than expected, but it's coming and it's ours.
Yes.
Good.
Yes, it is huge. you're right, these are federal funds, for example, that are being funneled through the state, to the general land office. So you have federal requirements, you have state requirements, and the biggest one is the environmental assessment, where they want samples of the ground. They want to see if Indian tribes have any sacred property there, or remnants of, bones or fossils of that nature. Any plants, are any plants protected? So those have to be assessed. And that process in itself, the environmental, can take a year and a half sometimes. We just went through it with a subdivision for Riverside and for Moorfield, and we're barely on the tail end of that. So, we're excited. We're looking forward to this, with, with,
Yeah, yes. Lupe.
So, Mr. Lee, I know, and you have all the time, you can take all the time you want, sir. We said 3 minutes, but
we're in public
exciting
hearing.
news. 30 minutes later.
I forget, we're not supposed to.
No, we're good. It's all good.
Well, it's part of the budget that we want to make sure that the public is aware of. And
I just had to slow you down
No,
because
that was
you
good.
and I have been, we
Correct,
sit down and
correct.
we go over this and we don't talk to the public
This
until
is
it's
new.
official. Because even though we feel like you want to tell the people what's coming, but we also also want to let the community on that side of town know that on the east side of Green Road, or East Goodwin,
East
we're
Goodwin.
going to pave some streets too in 2020, mid to late 26, early 27
Yes, sir.
as well.
Yes.
So, we're not just, we're doing everything we can, being fiscally sound and bound by our funds. And if we can get federal grants or state grants or any kind of grants to continue to supplement our budget and improve the quality for the city, I think everybody stands behind that. I'm just the one that talks, but I know that they all feel the same way, including yourself and your staff. So go ahead, Mr. Lee.
Sure, we're really excited about that. Again, Mayor just literally signed that last contract this morning. All 3 of them in the last 2 weeks, basically. We do have an item on the agenda to actually formally approve the agreement. We got $136,000 for planning for the hike and bike trail that we want to connect to the precinct hike and bike trail behind our park over here. And then the Chief Trevino was instrumental in getting us $265,000 from the Motor Vehicle Crime Prevention Authority Task Force. They're going to reimburse 80% of our salaries for 2 detectives and then some equipment as well. So total grants, $3.8 million in grants just in the last year alone, not counting the 2 grants from the GLO the year before. So that's amazing. We'll go on to page 6. We're going to talk about department highlights. The police department, all non-exempt employees with merit increases are eligible for stepping grade increases. That was previously approved by council. Any employees that are not stepping grade will get this budget proposes a 3% cost of living adjustment, which we talked about at our workshops. They were able to get 3 new patrol vehicles that were added to their fleet, with 6 procured the 2 years prior. Again, they got that grant. They received 30 new body armor vests, as well as 5 LiDAR units, which are used to measure speed. All through responsible funding and through grants. For fire department and EMS, we added the EMS services for the Sullivan City, which will get us another $120,000 per year, including $110,000 for this year. Employees, they have step-in grade as well for the fire department, and any fire department employees that are not on step-in grade, we're proposing a 3% cost of living adjustment because they have not gotten any raises in the last 2 years. Also, they have a few individuals who are going through paramedic certification. So when these individuals become paramedics, they will be promoted to paramedics, and that allows us to provide a higher quality of service. Anytime that they're providing those services, mobile intensive care units or MICUs, like a little, emergency room on wheels, so to speak, for the ambulance, and we're able to bill for that high level of services, to be properly compensated. So that'll provide, just a high level of service and additional revenues. We have an MOU with Mission Hospital where we can transfer patients as well, and we'll be able to bill for those services. You heard about our insurance levels at our last workshop. That's going to be going down. We have an item on the agenda to formally discuss that later. But that'll improve insurance rates for individuals in the Palmview, the people that live in Palmview. So that's another great accomplishment for this year to Chief Alanis. This budget also includes 2 new firefighter EMT basic positions because we want to maintain the proper ratios to keep those insurance rates low for the citizens of Palmview. For the city secretary's office, 3% COLA. We do have an added election expense for $35,000. However, she was able to offset some of that by reducing other expenditures, so the impact was not the full amount. It was actually $25,000. So credit to her and her team as well. The executive assistant position has been assigned to city secretary. Going on to finance, 3% COLA. We now have a permanent finance director position as opposed to a contractor. And of course, just around this time last year, we got our first ever bond rating, an A+, a strong rating, which has enabled us to borrow money when we do have to do projects at lower interest rates, very competitive rates. Banks are competing for our business because of that. So we have choices. On the HR department, 3% cost of living adjustment, and council was able to approve a new insurance provider that's going to have a zero deductible, a zero copay, and zero medication, zero out-of-pocket costs for our employees. When we went through the sign-up, the open enrollment, they were very surprised to hear that. They were asking the same questions like, is this real? Is this true? Absolutely. We've vetted it as much as we can. So I think staff is very grateful and excited about that as well. Public Works will get the 3% COLA, as well as we do have money left over from our certificates of issuance to get additional equipment for Public Works. Planning and zoning will get the 3% adjustment, and we're looking at positions within planning, zoning, and the municipal courts to make sure that we're properly compensating employees. We have parity with other cities of our size. So that's the highlight of the transmittal letter. We will go on to page 8, talks a little bit about the history of the city and the charter amendments. 9, 10, 11, this is all demographic data. This will be available to the public as well. This is our digital budget book. This is the second year that we use this with the ClearGov system. So, we're very excited about this. It goes a long way towards transparency. Talks about our financial policies on page 14, our budget timeline, and page 15, as I mentioned, the multiple workshops that we had. We have to publish notification in the newspaper, which led to our public hearing today. So we'll talk a little bit about the budget overview that starts on page 17. This is executive overview. Again, the different funds that we have. We have a general fund account, an enterprise solid waste fund, and our debt service fund also. When you look at the capital projects and infrastructure, we have 2 major drainage projects that we expect to happen early next year. Those are the ones that we talked about with Ramirez subdivision and the Riverside subdivision. We have a new park construction that we're hoping will kick off before the end of the year over on Marla Park with a total investment of over $930,000. We have construction of a new fire station, which should commence early next year with an investment of a little over $7 million. And as I mentioned earlier, the $2.5 million for Tierra Linda and $800,000 for East Goodwin. Of course, the city pursues long-term infrastructure improvements with other agencies as well. So the 495 expansion, we're hoping it will happen next year, the end of next year, along with Awasud, and they're finish off that wastewater infrastructure, because that's important for us to be able to develop as a city. We need that infrastructure so businesses will want to come and set up shop in Palmview. Page 18 talks about a strategic plan statement. Again, what are our priorities? Infrastructure, public safety, economic growth, quality of life, and fiscal stewardship. Page 19 talks about short-term factors, one of the biggest being adequate wastewater infrastructure. As we mentioned before, we need that. We rely on the Awa Special Utility District for wastewater services, and it's critical to support our ongoing growth and our development. Page 20 talks about priorities and issues. Again, infrastructure, economic development, community quality of life, and growth management. We've grown tremendously in the last 10 years, in the last 15 years. We need to manage that growth and grow in proportion to that growth. So now we're going to talk a little bit about numbers, starting on page 22 for our proposed budget. You see our revenues by source. You see, again, page 22, 35% of our revenues come from tax, from property taxes, ad valorem taxes, another 20 from sales tax, and then look at EMS collections. EMS collections are about 15.6%, almost 16% of our budget revenues. So that's equally appealing to us, because we're not just bringing in revenues, we're providing a high-quality service to the citizens of Palmview and the surrounding areas as well. To have paramedics on ambulance being able to respond quickly it's a big service. And of course, we have the trash collection services also. So you will see the revenues listed there. These are the ones that we talked about in our workshops. About $10.7 million here in total, just from general fund revenues. Page 23 breaks it by department in terms of the revenues, with pie charts as well. We're going to go on to page 25. Page 25 has all the breakdown of every single line item of revenues. I'm just going to highlight the ones that had major changes. The COPS grant, we're no longer getting those revenues because last year was the last year that they paid. They help you for 3 years, and after that, you're kind of on your own, and you have to absorb the cost. So we got 3 new officers because of it. They helped us. Now it's on our responsibility to maintain that. So while we lost that revenue, again, credit to Chief Trevino for helping getting that task force grant for $265,000, which is going to more than offset that loss. So thank you, Chief, for that. Moving on, page 26 talks about the EMS revenues that I mentioned earlier. Credit to Chief Alanis for that. That's $110,000 in additional revenue. So on the revenue side, we ended up good. We ended up positive. It put us in a position to be able to do more for our community, for constituents, and for staff as well. So we'll talk about expenditures starting on page 27, where most of our expenditures are fire department and police department. Public safety, is paramount, of course. So over 50% of our expenses are public safety related. And then you'll see the rest by department also. Going on to the following pages, you'll see the breakdown of all of our expenditures across the board. And what you'll start to see is the only time you see any changes, and they're not major changes, is what has to do with salaries or FICA or security taxes because of the 3% COLA, the 3% cost of living adjustment, and any officers and fire department personnel who are in step and grade. We did add $50,000 for consulting services for an annexation specialist. Whether we contract somebody, whether we're doing it in-house and assign additional duties to existing staff, we'll at least have that bucket budgeted for it already. So we'll probably be having future workshops on that specifically, so we can tack on our growth.
If I may, you said very good point. Before we finalize our budget, if you can, I know you're kind of just going through it, and that's great. But I think before we end the budget, we begin our new budget, bring this, and if y'all have any deeper, y'all want to dive deeper into any one of these departments, take your little notes. I see some of you, taking notes, and myself as well, so that we can address those questions, at that time in our budget workshop. So bring this is beautiful.
Absolutely. Yes, and just because if you decide to adopt this budget today, that doesn't mean it can't change. Throughout the year, we amend that budget, either priorities change or revenues differ. We start to see 3-6 months in, revenues are higher or lower. We actually have a responsibility to amend that budget, reduce it or increase it if we need to, and address the expenditures accordingly as well. Then there's things that we cannot anticipate, that we cannot foresee, where it might necessitate a change to the budget. And again, those come before council at all times. So. The rest, again, are just line items that, again, going through those. So I'm going to move on to page 38. Page 38 breaks it down by what are our expenditures. Any city, school districts, governmental entity, the biggest expense, they provide a service. We provide a service. We're not here to make money or profit off the constituents. We're here to provide the best level service that we can. So it takes personnel. So we're at 67% of our budgets on personnel. Sometimes you'll see 75% plus or minus at different entities. So we're actually a little bit on the lower end when it comes to how much of our budget expense is just for personnel expenditures. 30% is operations, general operations, and 2.3% for capital expenditures. But again, you see that breakdown there along with the graph that goes with it. And then the following pages will continue into more detail. We have other revenue sources, tax revenue. We have the hotel occupancy tax, which is to help support tourism. Our debt service, again, to pay any outstanding debt that we have, like the major one that we took out last year for the construction of the fire station. That went up about $244,000. So some of those revenues, additional revenues that we talked about, came in handy to pay for that debt service and other things that we're trying to accomplish within this budget. And you see actually the list of all the debt also. So moving on, you see funding sources summaries on the following pages. On page 50, starting at page 52, you will see it broken down by department. It's the same information, just different ways. You can see it by department. You can see it by, the cost expenditure. You can see it grouped different ways. It's just a matter of preference. Again, we're trying to be as transparent as possible so the public can see this because they do have access to this. It will be on our website. It will be downloadable so they can actually download it and take the time to go through this as well. And we're putting it all out there. So going through the rest of these pages, we're going to move on. The next one's going to be we start to talk our capital projects, page 97. Page 97 is a capital improvement plan. This is something that City Council adopted a few months ago. where we had a list of all the major projects that we need to do over the next 5 years. It's a 5-year plan, but as I mentioned at that time, it's a plan. You know, again, this thing can change. It doesn't mean that this is what we're going to do for the next 5 years. It doesn't mean in year 3 we're going to do this, year 2 we're going to do that. Sometimes council said, you know what, that's year 4, we want to move it up, it's priority, let's make it year 1, let's make it year 2, things of that nature. And these are major expenditures, these are major capital projects, so obviously these will always come before the council for consideration, and we'll probably have to borrow funds to be able to do some of these because they come with a high price tag. So we need years to, you know, start paying off some debt, reduce our debt service payments, and increase our capacity to borrow, our borrowing capacity. But the rest of the pages go into detail of what those items are. And then the last section that we're going to go over is section 113, on page 113. That's our debt overview. On page 14, on the following page, you'll see of the debt that we have coming up next year and the payments that we have at about 1,439, about 1.4 million. At the bottom, you're going to see what our payments are going to be for the future. So the bottom far right, 25, 26, 1.7 million, that's our debt service payment for this year, which includes the 1.4 plus 300 for solid waste for all the trash equipment that we borrowed. Next year, that payment actually goes down a little bit to 1.725. It actually stays kind of constant. The year after that, 718, and then 1.640. So for the next 4 years, we're going to be steady, which means it's going to give us time to pick up, to generate the revenues, for Palmview to grow, more businesses, more housing, more development, more construction. So our tax base grows because in the years 2030, between 2030 and 2034, at some point in that area, our payment's going to go up. We're going to have to start paying more towards our debt, but by then we would have already built up our tax base, so that's very good. But that's kind of the gist of it. Again, this is very good information, very detailed information. I do want to give a lot of credit to the team that worked on this, aside from myself, you know, to Ben and Areli. It was a lot of hours, all the workshops that we had, and then we had to go back and input this data and figure it out and make it balanced, you know, make it balanced. You know, without, you know, having, you know, the impact that, you know, too much of an overburden on the taxpayers. So again, thank you to the council for that input. I think this proposed budget is a good budget. It incorporates everything that you guys asked of us, and that's in here also. So that's all we have in relation to the proposed budget. And then I think the second item is in relation to the tax rate. So for the purposes of the public hearing, the proposed tax rate is 0.5879, which is what we published in the newspaper, which was put out there as well. That's all we have, and I don't know if anybody else has signed up for the public hearing.
Again, I'd like you to bring this thing back, and at a, you know, I know we've got a couple more workshops. I mean, we're gonna approve it, but here before October, we can have, you know, get another, just a sit down and start looking into the next couple of years, and bring this one back and sit down for a couple of hours and bake some more numbers and, right? What are those cooking terms that the finance department uses? Bake and mix and boil and broil. Don't char the numbers. But other than that, thank you. Any other questions? Mr. Garza, Areli? I know you guys are always, you know, your intentions are in the right place always. Areli, how long have you been with us, Areli? 2016. 2016? Wow.
Going on 10 years. Next year will be 10 years. Oh.
A lot of behind the scenes work with her. I know Ben missed you so much for those few months that you were out. And so thank you.
And I miss Ben.
Good. That's awesome. So no, y'all make a great team, and I think we have a good team. We got I don't want to say a good team. I think we've got a very, very strong team. Yeah, great team. Very good, strong, solid team. Communication, you know, cohesion, working together, and all for the common goal of this city. And most of you, if not, I want to say all of you are selfless, and that's important too, because you're always thinking of the city first, not of yourselves, and that's why we get the numbers you get. That's why we get what we get here. You know, and we got a long ways to go in the city, but we're gonna, our goal is to keep getting there. And you guys, thank all of you, for everything you do, for putting up with us, and for allowing us, to also, get our little things done. And we got a couple more things that we're gonna make sure we get done for the benefit of our youth, our community, and everybody involved in this city. All right. So any questions? Any input? Ms. Flores.
We got a good team.
Got a good team like the All-Stars that won the series.
No, I just wanted to say thank you for all the work that took to put all this together. It's very impressive. There are some things that we can look into, right? But that's that's just, you know me, I'm always finding something to, or let's try this, other ideas.
That's what we need.
But all in all, it's great. It's good. I hope you all feel supported by us, by the city manager, and the leaders of your department. That's what we can hope for. That's what we're trying to provide for you all, so that we can then have that service filter into our community, which is the ultimate goal. So thank you again for your dedication. I know I see a lot of you all out in our events, and it's just a beautiful thing to see that your heart is in it. So that's what we aim to do, to make sure you all are working in an environment that you feel happy and like a second family, right? So thank you all again for your dedication to the community, to our city. Thank you.
Appreciate you guys. Any other input, questions, comments, concerns? So we could kind of consider, and we'll talk about it, Mike, okay? About doing a little deep, this is a good, and I know we've had, 3 meetings? 4 workshops. 4? Wow.
Yes.
So,
I missed the last one. I'm so sorry about that.
You're okay.
I'd like to miss.
That's okay. You're all right, man. You got a team over here too. We can catch and we can hit the ball and drink a lot of Gatorade. And eat the burgers after the game, but no, we're good. We got a good administrative team, good, solid group of young, strong, sound people, and we're blessed. We're blessed, guys.
Where was the page that had the timeline? I want to see that. Because I was thinking, like, as you were listing the projects, Mike, which I'm so excited to see come to fruition, like, I want to see it, like, what is coming up, and just already have, like, a visual of a proposed month or year, right? Since a lot of our projects that are grant funded do take a while. 15? It's easy to forget, oh, what did we say? When did we say it was coming? And then, it's hard to put your finger on it, especially with those. Okay, I see here. Okay. This is something. Yes, and then I know they do change. They will change at times. But if we could try and stick to it as much as possible, I think just having this projected somewhere just gives us that reminder, oh, let's follow up on this, or how can we speed that up, or who do we need to talk to for this, things like that.
The software that puts a lot of this data into the graph and the formats that you see before is called ClearGov. We subscribe to a component of it for project management.
Okay.
It's going to be amazing. We saw the demos, and we're going to assign it. We're going to talk to Rudy's team. He doesn't know this yet, but we're going to talk to Rudy's team and maybe Rick Ramos at GIS to put this data online. And what this system, then what the project will do, the software will do, put it into a format not just for ourselves internally, but for the public also. You know what? Where's the drainage project? What's working? And it'll have timelines.
See.
It'll have completions. You know what? 20% completion. Estimated 80%. How much have you spent? Okay, it's here you spent 100,000. Now you spent 300,000. Now you spent 400,000. So they get to see it progress as the project progresses. And again, part of that
That would be awesome to see, to have.
We talked about it
That's what I was saying.
It's gonna be a
Put
very
it-
good.
Yeah, put a timeline and put it all together. I know we've talked about it, but you guys are working on making it happen. You know, and in
Good to
3
know.
years or 3 months, they can look back and say, hey, okay.
This is where we are with that.
And it keeps you guys too, right? It keeps you all in check too. It, you know,
Yeah.
lights a little fire there, and we gotta get this done. Why didn't we get this done? Well, because of this, okay. Let's get back to whoever we have to make sure we get the permits or not necessarily permits with you, but with the state or
Yeah.
whoever, right? So it's a good thing.
Whatever's
It's only
pending.
gonna help us be more efficient.
And the good thing is with these major projects especially, we either have a grant administrator with GrantWorks who's responsible, they're kind of like the project manager, or we have a project manager like we do for the fire station. And part of the project manager's responsibility is to make sure that we stay on schedule, stay on time, and on budget. Those are the two biggest, things, on time and on budget.
I'd like to recommend, when we talked about it, right, possibly bringing these people from GrantWorks and anybody else that was involved. I know you were very involved, Rudy was, Joseph, I'm sure, whoever else was involved in bringing in these $2 million. Sometimes we get the money and thank them in an email, and we forget about them, and they're pushing for us too, and we bring them in maybe, before the end of the year, and then thank them, and thank whoever. I know it's a young lady that communicates with me. She sends those emails like at midnight. So, man, she must be burning the midnight oil, but they're out there working.
Maybe she lives on the other side of the world.
Their time zone, maybe she's in the west, I don't know, but I think, if they have somebody local here, and I believe they do, bring them in.
GLO.
Yeah, Elijah, and there's a female. Elijah's been, there you go. There you go. Invite him, don't tell him you're gonna have cabrito, and and we'll put him on the stage there. Again, thank you guys, appreciate you guys. Keep, and don't get lax with your where you're at, unless you're retired, and you're, I speak for myself, but yeah, keep that fire burning, keep that hunger, and good things are gonna continue to come to this city. All right, guys, any other questions, input? So bring them in. One other one, I saw a page, which is a nice page. I guess I'll tell you after the meeting. It's not super important. So at 6:48, we close the public hearing. And then again, Mike, like we said, this is not it's in stone and it's gotta be that way. We can add or delete as we see fit, as we, look at our CO money and look at our, where we're at, and we get another surprise with some other funding source, and we'll make those decisions here in the future as they appear to us. Next item, under consent agenda, item 9, so I'm gonna go ahead and, may I have a motion to go into consent? Wait, hold on, no, I don't need a motion or second.
No, you didn't motion to open
Okay,
it.
just approval of consent agenda, item 9.1, approval of minutes on workshop held on July 19th, regular meeting held August 18th, and special meeting held August 28th.
I motion to approve.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any questions? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, and under new business, discussion and possible action regarding the ordinance number 2025-07, adopting of City of Palmview budget for fiscal year 25-26.
Mayor, I'm gonna walk up and approach the dais here. As you recall, when we do the budgets, we have very specific language that the state outlines that wants us to read, so it's on here. And a reminder that the state, when we publish the notice, any city really has to do the same thing. They always call it a tax increase. They always call it a property tax increase. Even if you don't raise your tax rate, even if you lower your tax rate, as long as you're getting more money than last year, they call it a property tax increase. Values went up, so people are paying more taxes as a result of the increased values. So again, the language is going to say property tax increase, but again, that's more reflective of the values going up. Again, just for clarification.
Sure.
This is the language here, and there's 2 motions that need to be made, one separately, and we do need a roll call vote, I believe, so it'll be a roll call vote.
go ahead and read the first motion.
A record for that.
For the record, on item 10.1 under new business, discussion and possible action regarding the ordinance number 2025-07-0, adopting the City of Palmview budget for fiscal year 2025. I move to approve the ordinance adopting the City of Palmview budget for fiscal year 2025-26. May I have a vote in for or not for the item? We'll go ahead and start.
We need a second. You have a motion.
Okay, I have so I motion. I'll need a second, and here's the second. The second is the.
I move to ratify.
No, the second is just a regular second. not yet.
Okay.
Just
Okay.
the second on that motion that Mayor made.
Okay, second.
Okay, second.
I apologize.
Yeah, vote.
Do I need to say my name? No?
Not yet on the
No
vote.
roll call? Do we need a roll
On the
call?
vote.
I second.
Okay, so we already roll called pretty much, right?
No.
Or no? Okay.
Cesar Peña Jr., 4.
Benito Hernandez. 4.
4. Me, Alexandra Flores, 4.
And Mayor Rick Villarreal, 4.
Now we have that second motion, which is like a new motion, then we do it again. And that's the language on the paper.
All right, second, a second motion, I move to ratify the property tax increase reflected on the budget. Do I have a motion?
I do the same.
Okay, second. I'll need a second.
I'll second.
Cesar Peña Jr., 4.
Benito Hernandez. 4.
Alexandra Flores, 4.
Mayor Rick Villarreal, 4. Okay, so vote taken and recorded for the record. Motion carries. All right, next item, 10.2. Yeah, we do this once a year, so.
Can we schedule a class on?
They change the rules every 2 years when they, in legislative session, they always change things.
Okay, so discussion and possible action, item 10.2, for the record, discussion and possible action regarding the ordinance number 2025-08-0, fixing the property rate and tax levy for the City of Palmview, Texas, for fiscal year beginning October 1st, 2025, and ending September 30th, 2026, upon all taxable property in said conformity with the laws and the state of Texas, and ordinance as part of ordinance in the conflict therewithin.
Okay, in accordance with those regulations, again, I'm going to have the language here. This one, there's going to be 3 motions. There's going to be a first you do the first one, you do motion, second, and vote, and then you do the second one, vote, and third, and so forth. But they're 3 separate motions. You can do one at a time and do the same thing, but they're highlighted.
And we'll do the roll call vote on all 3?
Yes.
Did I not, I heard that correctly, right? Okay. So I read the item, 10.2. I'll read it again for the record. Discussion and possible action regarding the ordinance number 2025, 08-0, fixing property tax rate and levy tax for the City of Palmview for Texas, in Texas, for fiscal year beginning October 1st, 2025, and ending September 30th, 2026. I will read as follows. I move that the property tax rate be increased by the adoption of a tax rate of 0.5879, which is effectively a 11.30% increase in the tax rate. Do I have a motion? Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second.
Cesar
Okay.
Peña Jr., 4.
Benito Hernandez. 4.
Alexandra Flores, 4.
Mayor Rick Vidal, 4. Next, I moved for the adoption of a rate of 0.1637 for INS to fund the city's debt service. Do I have a second?
Second. Cesar Peña Jr., 4.
Benito Hernandez. 4.
Alexandra Peña Flores, I'm sorry, Flores, 4.
Mayor Rick
Sorry,
Vidal, 4. And then finally, final motion, hanging around me. I move for the adoption of the state of a rate of 0.4242 for M&O fund for the city's maintenance and operations.
Second.
I have a second.
Cesar Peña Jr., 4.
Benito Hernandez. 4.
Alexandra Flores, 4.
Mayor Rick Vidal, 4. Motion, any questions, comments, concerns? Okay, motion passes. All right, with that one. Item 10.3, discussion and possible action to approve GLO contract number 25147-003F336 for a community development block grant, disaster recovery reallocation program for infrastructure projects Non-Research and Development 2019 Disaster CDBG DR funding in the amount not to exceed $2 million. Staff by Mr. Leo.
This is the one that we were talking about earlier. This is the second official grant contract that we've gotten. Again, you know, for the subdivision to clean up all the swells and have the drainage outlets at the end of the streets on the south side of the subdivision.
All right, good, great, awesome. Do I have a motion?
I motion to approve.
Second.
Motion a second. Any other questions? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you, Mr. Lee. Appreciate you on that. And I also want to, I didn't say it on item 10.2. Thank you, commission and you know, staff on preparing a well-rounded budget, fiscally sound budget as well for this coming year as well. So I thank you guys on item 10.2 on that one as well. And let's continue to tighten those belts and be frugal and be fiscally sound and responsible first with needs. And then if we can, with wants for the city. All right?
Really quick, Mayor, I'm glad you went back to 10.2. I just wanted to, because it sounded like a lot of increases. Can we give more or less a ballpark figure, like what these increases are gonna look like for the community? Just so, because again, it sounded like a lot of increases, and I know that's the last thing our community wants to hear. But again, I think we do a good job of trying to reinvest that back into the community for, you know, improvements and maintenance of infrastructure. But again, do we have a ballpark figure of what this increase is gonna look like for?
Mr. Garza, do you have that? We went over that in the last meeting. We need to get her a copy of that paper, Mr. Garza. And on a $200,000 home, you could kind of give us a little, how much is it gonna be like to pay for the city on an increase? And most of the increase is coming, if I'm correct, and correct me if I'm wrong, from not the tax department actually, but from the appraisal district, which go up. And you can pay that month, not pay the increase, but we gotta go and we gotta protest, which I did this year. So you wanna give us you understood the question?
I think so. So I think the last workshop that we had, I broke out some statistics on what the average taxpayer would pay in Palmview, and more than half of them are less than 100,000. So the average home here in Palmview was about $54,000. So their yearly tax rate's only gonna, or tax levy would go up by almost $10.
Okay.
So on a monthly basis, it'll be about 81 cents for them.
Okay. Yeah, and that's pretty much what I wanted to get announced publicly.
Yes.
So that when they do hear those increases are coming, that they know more or less how to see what is going to impact them, just
Correct.
based on their property taxes. But
And then I went on to say that in November, there's going to be a tax deduction for a property exemption to increase by $40,000 for the school districts. So
Okay.
if your home is valued at more than $100,000, you may have an additional, if it passes, which it should, because historically all of them have passed. So an additional $40,000 would be added to your exemption, therefore lowering the cost of your tax levy. And so on the tax property, it would go down, and I think on average it was about $420. So your increase on the slight increase that we're having with this tax rate, you won't see it because the offset from the school district tax being lowered, you will still pay lesser taxes than you did last year.
Okay.
To kind of
That's
balance.
good.
It'll
Yes,
kind of,
way better.
we'll kind of be at the same.
Yeah.
Okay, good to know.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing,
Yes.
Mr. Garza.
We have a copy.
Yeah, they do. And, you know, again, to try to clarify, or just to put it in you know, easy terms, it's, you know, I'm gonna use a roundabout number of 100,000. If your house was valued at 100,000 this year, or last year, this year it went up to 110,000. Your tax rate can be the same, it doesn't, never mind what you do with the tax rate, but if the value went up, now it's at 110,000, the state calls that a tax increase, because you're gonna pay more taxes. So the language that we need to use in everything that we have, including the publications, it's gonna read as a tax increase, but it's, again, it's important to know that if your values went up, you're just paying more taxes because of the taxable value, you know, as it relates to the value. So again, it sometimes gets a little bit confusing, but it's, you know, it's important to understand.
Yes, and a lot of times we get blamed for all of the increase, when in reality, the city of Palmview is just a portion, you know. see there's other entities that tax.
Correct.
Just to make that publicly known.
Good questions, right? Those are good questions.
Include that data that, you know, I put one and then Ben put another more detailed, and we can put it together in the budget book to put it online.
See. Okay, thank you. Thank you so much.
All right. Good question, ma'am. Thank you. We took a vote, just for the record, Annette? 10, yes. Okay, item 10.4. Discussion and possible action to amend procurement policies and procedures, staffed by PD.
Mayor, City Council, good evening. For this item, this is through our text dot grant that the police department received last year, and we continue to add more initiatives to this grant. They're doing like a pre-assessment, like a pre-audit assessment, kind of preparing us for that audit, and you know, when we do get audited, we have all our ducks in a row. Part of it played a lot of factor. It was the finance that goes into it, and they were missing 3 items in the finance policy, and of course I got with Ben here, the finance director, and we talked about it, and it's also been vetted by legal as well. Those 3 factors were cost sharing, that the policy talk about factors affecting allowability of costs and indirect costs, and most of these were kind of like on the federal verbiage of it. They just needed to make sure that those 3 items were also added to their procurement policy, which has been vetted by them and legal, and we're good to go. So this not only helps the police department, but any future grants that the city in a whole were to apply for, we're ready to go because all our policies are in what they require for us to get any grant funding from TxDOT.
Awesome.
All right.
Thank you.
Do I have a motion?
A motion to approve.
Second?
A motion and a second to approve. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
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 Thank you. Keep us posted. Thank you. Item 10.5, discussion and possible action regarding a resolution providing for the nomination of candidates for the Hidalgo County Appraisal District Board of Directors for 26 through 29. Staffed by Mr. Leo.
Mayor, this is that time of the year where we submit our nominations. This year, what the appraisal district is saying is you can nominate 1, but no more than 2. We have till October 15th. We nominate no more than 2 names. Then they'll put a ballot, and they'll send us back the ballot with our nominations and every city's nominations, and that's when we actually spread out our votes, so to speak. But at this time, this is just for nomination purposes, so.
Can you get us the names?
We don't have the names yet, we're nominating.
We're
Okay,
nominating.
we're going to nominate names?
Correct. You know, now there's people already on the board, and if you want to nominate somebody that's already on the board, of
I
course.
believe it's Mr.
Requenes for our area, Amador Requenes, yeah.
I would, unless anybody has,
No, I nominate Mr. Ken.
Yeah, I would, I mean, if he wants to continue, yes.
all right, so you have.
¿Cómo se
We
llama?
have one.
Amador Requenes? Yes.
And you can nominate up to 2, or we can be 1, but 1's fine. But this is just for nomination.
Who's the second person?
All the others are from different areas that I
This
can,
is for the appraisal district?
for the appraisal district.
Man, we gotta get somebody in there that we can, that can help not raise our property values.
But we have till the
Nominate
15th, right?
Yes, if you want to think about it, maybe talk to somebody.
We
We
have till the 15th.
Have faith in you.
We're going to have another meeting before the
We have till
15th.
the 15th of
Okay,
October.
so then let's brainstorm it,
Okay.
and we can get for sure Mr. Requenes input. And let's brainstorm it and
Is
come
there
back with-
stipulations? They have to be like within our city limits?
No, I just
Our
Hidalgo
area?
County resident.
Oh, okay, so very broad.
Some are elected, like the ones that they just opened up last time around. But some are elected by the general public, and some are elected by the governing body, such as us. The other ones are elected. I think Karina Cardosa,
Oh, yes.
Ronnie Antiveros, and then the third one from Edinburgh. They're elected by the public, though.
Who was the second?
No había.
Karina Cardosa, Ronnie Antiveros, and I can't remember the third, the girl from Terry Canales'
Are you talking
wife.
about the ladies that were elected?
Erica, de Leon.
Or the other one that was?
Erica, sí, Erica.
No,
Erica
no,
Canales.
no hay otro, not that we had any say with it, I guess.
Well, that's good that you bring it up. We have over a month to kind of look for somebody who can not fight, but go and, right? And go give a good point as to why we shouldn't be raising the values of properties all the time. And how many members are there in that, in that board? In the appraisal district board?
I'm not sure. I want to, less than 10, maybe 9, 7, between 7 and 9.
7 and 9. This is for the whole county?
How many are, yeah.
And what's the name of the director? Garza?
Rolando Garza, the chief appraiser.
Need to get somebody from Palmview to be the chief appraiser over them. Okay, well, we'll get back to you. Okay, so, motion for Mr. Amador Requenes, and pending the second, would that be proper? Be okay?
You can just table it. If you're wanting to do
Okay.
two, you can just table it and nominate both of them at the next
At the same time, okay.
All right, so we'll go ahead and table this item. I'll need a motion to table the item. I'll motion to table.
Sorry, I'll second.
I got a second. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank
Put
you.
a reminder on your phone.
Yes. 9, 10, 10, 9? All right. Yeah, let's look around and get somebody that goes against the flow, not with the flow. All right. Item 10 point, let me see here, where did I stay here with the 10.6? Discussion and possible action to submit a notice to Insurance Service Office, the ISO, regarding the completion of their recent survey and their recommendation for classification for the City of Palmview Fire Department.
FYI, we've got about 10 minutes left on the CD. We should be able to do these last 3 items, but this was the item that the chief discussed at our workshop last week. Chief, go ahead.
Mayor, City Council, good evening.
Good evening.
So we got rated, got surveyed, I should say, back in June, July, and ISO came in. They spent a day with us, and we talked, and this is where we're at, this is where we need to go, kind of thing. And at the end of the rating, we just got the results at the beginning of September, and they're contemplating, they want to give us a class 4. Right now we're a class 5, so that lowers it down 1 class. So what does that mean? So that means that essentially the average homeowner will save anywhere, depending on who the policyholder is, anywhere between 3 and 7% on your home insurance premiums. That's residential and commercial, right? The reason for that is because the lower the classification, 1 being the highest, right, is the less risk of catastrophic loss in the event of fire because of the city's infrastructure that's available to be able to protect from catastrophic losses. So with that, I needed approval to formally respond back to the email to accept the rating, and then once we accept the rating, it's published at the beginning of October and should become effective probably by the end of the year.
Okay, good.
So being published, meaning that's published on a national level, right? So essentially it just takes some time once it publishes, and once it publishes, and then all of the insurance providers that sell insurance within our city will get notified of that publishing.
And this will help our constituents by lowering their
Correct,
home
right? So like, for
insurance?
example, if you're paying, I'm gonna use an example, $250 a month on your home insurance, that number, depending on whatever your insurance provider is, will drop anywhere to 3 to 7% per month.
Oh,
So
great.
that's a residential and commercial, so
Awesome, good to know.
Lower is better.
lower is better, correct. Class 1 is being the highest, and there is no class 1 in the Rio Grande Valley. The nearest class 1 is Laredo.
And we work hard to go lower because, the insurance is perfect, right?
Correct, yes, sir. It benefits all the constituents, it benefits the business community. It's more attractive for development, right, because of the infrastructure and it kind of all works hand in hand, so,
Thank you, Chief.
thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. So, any other questions? Do I have a motion?
I motion to approve.
Second.
Motion and a second to approve item 10.6. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Mayor, we may, we'll go ahead and take a break too.
Oh, to change.
So we are still live, we are still,
How close were we to a 3? Or were we not, we were in the ballpark?
We need to do some more,
I know you're working on something. Okay, bueno. Thank you. No, it's okay. We're live, but I just should have asked it. to item 10.7, discussion and possible action to continue with the memorandum of understanding between Region 1 Education Service Center of Office of Adult Education and the Palmview Municipal Library. Go ahead, Mr. Tirina.
Good evening, Mayor and Council members. So this MOU is to continue our partnership with Region 1, in which the library continues to host ESL classes, and hopefully in the near future also GED classes. Currently, with this MOU, they will be hosting 2 classes at the same time at the library instead of just doing 1 class, just to accommodate students at different levels in terms of their ESL skills.
Perfect.
Awesome,
I
thank
know
you.
at one point, if we have to, just something to look into. Well, first of all, let's take a motion. I'll make a motion.
Second.
To approve the MOU, thank you. Second, all in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Motion carries. Mike, just something to consider and look into. This is after 4 o'clock, right?
Yes.
Okay, so if need be, at any one point in time, I know we also have our Premier, and we have classrooms there as well, so just something to consider. I know the contract says that after a certain time, we have access. So you never know.
I'm wondering if the district could help us promote these classes to the parents within our community. I think it would be good.
I know they do host some of them at the Palmview High School as well.
Oh, okay, good. Good.
Beautiful, awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Did we take a motion already?
Yes. Item 10.8, discussion and possible action to approve the third amendment to lease agreement between City of Palmview and Responsive Ed Texas, a Texas 501c3 nonprofit corporation. Mr. Leo?
Mayor, the council previously approved the lease agreement, so the rates staying the same, the rent staying the same. All this amendment does is just clarifies the use of gym space for the summer, since they pay us a monthly fee to use the gym, their kids use the gym, but in the summer, there's no school, so this allows them to be exempt from paying just for those summer months. And then the prior use of electricity, they're gonna give us a reimbursement for prior electricity usage also.
Okay, does that, that's Premier?
Premier, yes.
Good. That we're okay, they're okay? Not
Yes.
we, they?
Yes.
See, okay, good, great. All right, we're also graduating about 100 kids a year through that program, which otherwise kids would, need a second or a third chance. And the founders, the people who built that gym at that time, which was over 50, how many years ago was that now? It's been about, 20 years. I think that gym's been there for at least. So the people who were here at that time did a good thing, and that's what we want to do ourselves too. We want to just continue to do good things, because some of those kids would rather probably not graduate if they wouldn't have these opportunities. And Mr. Tejeda también as well, a GED is powerful. We do a lot of stuff with a GED, nowadays. And it's not just the title, but it's what the person wants to do. I've been there several times, and the kids are very humble. They want to learn. They want to graduate. They want to get their classes out of the way. And we want to make sure that they do that. See, so here we are again. I think we're the only city west of Mission. I don't know if Premier has a deal with the city of Mission or Alton. I think we're the only city, west of Mission that has a memorandum or a contract with an education company, this is through TEA as well, Texas Education Agency. So we're graduating kids here in Palmview as well. We're not just providing a better quality of service in life with parks, libraries, and police, fire, ambulance, trash, streets, and all that. We're also, you guys are a part of a city that graduates kids too, that would otherwise, we'd be chasing after them sometimes, and I'd rather invest in them now than invest in them later, I don't want to say what's the word, in a cell, right? Or through some form of program that we have to take care of them. Get them educated, and they can pay taxes and buy a house instead of breaking into a house, or a car. So it's important that it was good, what was done here over 20 years ago. And I want to thank you guys, the board as well. Mr. Leo, I know we were back and forth with these people about 6-7 months. So thank you for making sure that it got done, and we're going to continue to graduate kids with certificates and what is it, Not necessarily a GED, but certificates and a diploma, which is awesome. All right, I'll be quiet. Have a motion?
I motion to approve.
Second?
Second.
Continue graduating kids here in the city of Palmview. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
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 Motion carries. Thank you. And I believe, do we have an item? One item to go into executive session. I'll go ahead and call it at 7:17. We will reside into executive session on this beautiful September 15th, 2025. We'll be back with you shortly. Thank you.